Welcome everybody to Extreme Off-Road Silly Bills, and today we're dealing with the 2003 Ford F-150 SVT Lightning. Now this has 832 horsepower and 804 pounds-feet of torque. From its original engine that has been bored out to 6 litres, but instead of a supercharger it now has a twin turbocharger bolted onto its V8 engine, and the car itself now weighs 3,891 pounds, has off-road tyres, all-wheel drive and off-road suspension, and it can now do 0 to 16 2.676 seconds, 0 to 100 in 5.609 seconds, and going to a top speed of 192 miles an hour. Now granted, I could have put a lot more power in this car, no doubt about that. There's several engine changes that you can do to this car, which is good for other people that want to do certain stuff for this car in terms of what they want to do, like drifting or whatever. But I kept the original engine because the handling is not that great on this car. Being a pickup truck, it's got very little weight over the rear, so there's a very little grip at the rear as well, and any more power I fear wouldn't do it very well, because yeah, it's not got that much extra handling over the standard car, because obviously off-road tyres do not offer as much grip on road as normal. But being off-road, it might well be a little bit on the better side. But still, overall the stats are good. Acceleration, launch, braking and off-road capability are all great. Top speed is good, although we're unlikely to get up to 192. It's just purely the handling that is slightly a let down, but I wholly expected that given it's a pickup truck, to be honest. So yeah, which is why I limited the horsepower. But we've still got more than twice the power we had originally, and obviously from a much larger engine. About nearly twice the torque as well. So yeah, we're hardly in familiar territory with this car now with all these upgrades. I'm hoping that it's a good enough amount of upgrades to make it quick enough on the series without being a pig to drive. You could put in lots more power than this. You can put it up to nearly, I think there's the 1750 horsepower engine you can put in this, which would be insane, no doubt about that, but I very much doubt this car could have handled that amount of power. And if it could handle that power, I doubt it would be able to use all of it. A lot of it would probably just be thrown away, which would make it pointless. So yeah, kept the original engine, but obviously done plenty of extras to it. But the big extras have been to the car outside of the engine. Suspension, the brakes, not only the reduction in weight, the change into a 7-speed gearbox. I've covered the rear pickup bed for better aerodynamics, but also given it a little bit of a spoiler as well for some increased downforce on that rear end, because obviously we do need that, given how light the rear end on pickup trucks usually are. It's doing okay so far. Entirely sure if it's quick, but it's certainly controlled, which is at least a good thing in some respects. Seems to be somewhat balanced in terms of understeer and oversteer, so that's also good. Rough stuff is proving no issue at all, including the jumps. Nowhere near as much understeer as I feared there might well have been. You know, got quite a large engine up front, and now you've got power going through those front wheels as well. Not particularly quick down there, a lot more. Most of the cars have gotten up to at least 140, so. Maybe it could have dealt with bit more power. Thinking about it now, especially considering it's still got quite a large amount of weight. But we're hardly going to be the slowest on this series. Not by a long way, to be honest. We're comfortably in the top 20 with a time of 3 minutes 28 dead. That's the first, you know, dead time that we've had. So yeah, that means it's beaten the Mazda 323 GTR, the Porsche 911 Desert Flyer, the Ford Bronco, the new one from 2021, the Ferrari FXXK Evo, the Toyota Land Cruiser AT37, the Sierra Cars RX3 and the Tundra TRG Pro, also from Toyota. And yeah, that also means we're only ever so slightly behind the Volkswagen Golf R, the Oldsmobile Tornado, Audi TT RS and the McLaren GT. So yeah, on the whole that is pretty good. It's comfortably in the top 20, like I said. It's in 14th place. No, 15th place, sorry. So yeah, that is a decent time. Just feel like it could have probably dealt with a little bit of extra power, given the fact that it's still quite a weighty vehicle. But at the end of the day, it was smooth to drive, it was fun to drive, but it was also quite easy to drive as well. Like I said, there was quite a good balance between the understeer and the oversteer, and yeah, it was pretty capable. But as you saw on some of the more speed orientated parts, it was struggling to get up to a high rate of speed. On one part we were barely getting up to 133 mile an hour thereabouts, whereas I think the Mini was getting up to well more than that in the previous episode. So yeah, perhaps could have dealt with a couple of hundred extra horsepower, but at the end of the day, I don't know what a car's going to perform like on this course, because I don't try any car out beforehand. So yeah, it is all a guessing game in some regards, but at the end of the day, it was far from the slowest that we've had, and it wasn't troublesome either. So yeah, win-win on that regard. Nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.